This is the Ogden Museum in New Orleans. And this is a piece by a local artist, and a local graffiti artist. He has many names. One of his names is Fat Kid of Outer Space something. And there are some of his interesting or favorite objects, including flying carrot, inspired by video game.
And I'm pretty sure there's some, I don't know if all of them are actual people, but I personally can recognize that this guy here is Kermit Ruffins, who, if you pay attention to the listings, he's a very well-known trumpeter around town. He owns a nightclub. He used to have a standing gig at another nightclub where he plays and he serves barbecue when he plays. This, I suspect, although this looks kind of too old, but I think it might be Trombone Shorty, who does have some national recognition, although this guy to me looks a little too wrinkled. I think this one is Ben Jaffe, who runs the Preservation Hall Jazz Band, because he definitely has that curly hair and plays the tuba. I don't recognize specifically any of the other ones, and certainly the upside down people I don't know. This is a second line, which originally started with the jazz funerals, where the funeral would go through the town playing sad songs, and then behind it would eventually morph into this celebratory brass band nature with people dancing through it. And generally, there's now lots of occasions to have a second line. And one of the defining characteristics, besides the brass and the drum, are the parasols. So these two would be dancers with their parasols, which people definitely here use parasols, not just for the rain, but for sun. You'll definitely see people using it to protect from the sun.
Right, just like a giant.
The butterflies are someone, I can't remember if it's her mother died or a close friend died, but the butterfly became a symbol of that. And so she actually altered it and included all the monarch butterflies in this cycle of life to honor. And I'll just say, St. Joseph's Day, it's in the spring. It can be, as you may experience just in this weekend, it can be very warm and it can be very cold. And it can be any range in between. To wear this out, I'm sure is pretty strenuous. She's not affiliated with any tribe. She sort of does it on her own, and she also is a working artist. You see another piece of artwork there. There are a lot of tribes, some better known than others. Some perform at Say Jazz Fest, and so you see them. They have albums out, and some are sort of smaller, more neighborhood.
So we still have all those groups around?
Absolutely. I actually just went a couple weeks ago to a place called the House of Dance and Feathers, which is a man, he was a Mardi Gras Indian big chief. He's sort of retired from doing that, but in his back house, he has made this museum. And so he collects all these, because they weren't necessarily sacred, he collects all this stuff around Mardi Gras Indians, and you can go and sit there and talks about growing up that way and the different tribes, and there's apparently difference between uptown and downtown. But yeah, definitely, they are still out and about. Yeah. They just have their Super Sunday. Yes. Okay. I'm just going to say no flash.
No.
It's not that, it's a temporary exhibit. I don't know if this is really she probably, I know we have some business in the collection. We probably have some person in the collection. I actually just looked up Centuartosis. There's the New York Times article about Lucy, and Lucy's probably the home section. Things probably she didn't make, but she did. The amazing thing is she made this.
Really?
She made this.
No
She
kidding.
made that. These are cast bronze, and one of the interesting things, she will collect little dead animals and stick them in her freezer, and then she uses them to make bronze castings of. So this is probably a small bird's head that she had a mold made and does castings from.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she lived in New York for a long time. I think she taught, I can't remember where she taught in New York, and then decided to come back to New Orleans, moved into the family mansion, and it's kind of the same. You know, if you look at the pictures, a lot of the photographs of how, you know, if it's the artist's home or their studio, you get a real New Orleans feel of what things look like, especially down in the
It was
and
her
around the French
family's
Quarter.
home?
It's her family's
Where
home.
she grew up? Okay.
Yes.
So she made that too.
She made
Every
that
little
too.
thing.
Every little thing. I mean,
Wow,
the
what
table
a
is
crafts
amazing.
person. Yeah.
I'm drawn into this vortex that's going through, and then it's, you get close. It's a really interesting technique, and I don't know exactly understand it. She calls it digital drawing, so it's done somehow on a computer and printed on a keyboard. And you see that everything, when you get close, there are all these little strips that look almost 3D, and then when you look from the side, some of them, you can see it up there, some of them, the tip of that block actually shines, it reflects the light. I don't know exactly what it is.
Yes,
So it's very different.
Yes, yes.
All of these artists, where they're from or where they're, all these artists live and work in New Orleans. Yes. All of these artists are. One of them lives in Slidell, and I'm not saying, it might be, it might be that artist right here. I'm not sure which one. But Slidell, I mean, it's under, it's a community college.
Okay, hello dear friends. New Orleans, it's bright sunshine, warm and fresh. Just to finish that very cold, freezing time. So I am in the center of the museum district of New Orleans. This one is Ogden Museum, Civil War Museum.